Hello and welcome, my name is Trenton Hoshiko, and today's cinematography video is all about using a triple header, like the impact triple header I have right here, to save space for your lighting setups, especially in close quarters. Before I get started with the triple header, I do want to plug my brand new photography channel here on YouTube called Trenton Hoshiko Photography. If you're interested in hearing me talk about photography, photography equipment, and my photography, please consider subscribing and going and watching the videos over there that I have out already. And I have way more cool videos planned. I'm super excited for what I'm going to be able to do on that channel, in addition to my cinematography channel. As for this triple header, I picked it up a while back, and mine is specifically the impact triple header. And it has turned out to be a really great tool, especially if you need lots of light from one side, but don't have a lot of space to work in. It is quite affordable at around $40, but I often see them go on sale for like 10 to 15% off, so you can get them for a little bit cheaper. If you want to know more about it, I will link my overview video down in the video's description. If you're unfamiliar, this tool lets you place 3 to 5 baby pin lamps or accessories onto one light stand, meaning you just went from the footprint of 3 to 5 light stands or C-stands down to the footprint of only one. And I use mine on either the newer rolling light stand or my Impact Lowboy combo stand, both of which I've talked about in videos a while back. I'll have links down in the video's description. The overall footprint then for my setups went from around 4 to 5 feet down to about 3 feet. And also being on rolling light stands, now I can move all 3 or even 5 of these lamps and accessories all at the same time without having to pick up and manage each of the stands on an individual basis and then having to deal with the stand legs and the cables. I will tell you, having it all on one rolling light stand is way easier in most situations. And the 3 lamps being so close together is also closer than you'd be able to achieve with 3 regular light stands, especially if you're going to be raising them up at all. And it's certainly closer than you could do with 5 light stands. And getting all 3 to 5 lamps angled overhead is incredibly useful if you need a lot of light, especially if you're going to be bouncing or passing that light through diffusion. So this is kind of the main draw, in my opinion, for using a triple header bar, is that you can have 3 lights in a very compact space all sitting on one single stand. You don't need 3 separate stands. And in my case, I have this on the newer rolling stand that has the baby pin on it. I love this stand. It's super effective. It's a little bit heavier, so I feel confident in it holding this kind of weight. I probably wouldn't put a triple header like this on just, a regular little light stand, one of these guys, just a lightweight black stand. I wouldn't do that. This is itself reasonably heavy, and the lights themselves just add much more weight, and we have the power packs hanging off of it as well. But this is the main kind of draw, is that you do get the 3 lamps. Now, the cool thing about it is that you can then pan and tilt, tilt lock, and then pan them because they are on a baby pin, and you can dial in exactly how you want it to be. One thing that's great is that you can then aim them towards the center to get kind of a cohesive light. If you had 2 people you needed to light at the same time, maybe you didn't have a middle light, you could actually, take these 2, turn them separately to get, 2 people seating for like, almost like a cross key type idea. You could turn them towards the center and not have a center light and get a cross key just a little bit. If you're working in a very tight space. So this offers a lot of flexibility without having to have nearly as much grip gear and labor to set it up, which I think is really, really nice. And all I've done here is taken the actual power cables, looped it around the handles for the GVM P80Ss, just to give a little bit of strain relief. And we have it there, and then we have the entire cable basically looped around the bar itself to, once again, kind of give some strain relief. It's not so much of a single point then. And then the power packs hang right off, and I have these route into a power strip. If you only have 3 lights on here, you are talking, in my case, because these are the P80Ss, they're 80 watts, 80, 160, 240, so that's about 2.5 amps. If you're doing, the power equation with 100 instead of 120 volts, gives you a little bit more wiggle room. When you're doing that, you get about 2.4 amps for this entire setup, which is very reasonable for a single power strip, and B, most outlets in either homes or commercial spaces in the United States. Do note the distinct triple shadow when you have all three and they're facing directly out. But beyond the idea that we're saving a lot of space in terms of not needing three stands, let's talk about some other fun setups that might save space or give us the opportunities to make unique lighting effects. Let's check it out. So this is a really fun setup that I like to do. I haven't had a lot of call to do it, but I think it is just really an interesting one. I have two softboxes on either side of the lamp, and we have the aperture 2x Fresnel right here in the center. Now this would give us a nice amount of fill light to fill up the entire space. Like I said, you can pan and tilt these, so we could pan these to the side a little bit just to create a lot of extra light. But then in the center, we can actually adjust this from flood to spot and really focus in on maybe somebody's face or something like that. This is one way I like to kind of fake window light, because you get a lot of brightness, but also the sharpness of an actual kind of directional light in a way that's more similar to how the sun works, combined, like I said, with the scattering of the light and the bouncing all over the space that you would get when, light comes into the room and just bounces around everywhere. But also, we don't need three stands, and we don't need a lot of extra sandbags for each stand to be safe. We don't need to make sure they can all fit together. I can unlock the legs on this rolling stand and roll this to wherever I want it to be. I can raise this up just, however high I need it to be. And then that way I can mimic sunlight in this very specific kind of unique way without as much effort as it could be. In the center, we're trying to mimic some sunlight, so we're getting hard light on the face and soft light everywhere else. But beyond just lamps, you can save space by using the triple header, a grip head, and a rolling stand to make a mobile diffusion silk setup, not having to have both a light stand and a C-stand to hold your diffusion and your lamp. All one package. While it does sacrifice some of the flexibility of not having the gobo arm with the C-stand, it does make for a really compact and easy to use setup. And so here we actually have kind of two options for this, but this is a technique that I saw, I think somebody else do, and this is maybe my version of it. I don't know if they maybe did it on a double header, but what this does is allow you to have a portable, reasonably easy to use setup to then actually get a soft silk light, from about a foot or about 2 feet. Right, going cast in there. The way I have this set up right now means you do have to angle it upwards a little bit. And so, yeah, we're getting a much softer light here than we would have if we just, didn't have any silk. So it's obviously cutting the exposure too. But this is now meaning that we can just use the lamp and the silk right here together without having to have a full C-stand and a light stand next to each other. And like I said, it's all still movable as one unit. Now you can also always then take this guy in the middle off and use the light that's on the far side here if it's plugged in. So this is aiming a little bit more upwards, but now the added distance here does give us an even softer, by a little bit, look than it would be if you were on the middle position here. You do want to be careful with balance when doing this.
that is important. You can also do a like a bounce card here and have the light bounce back as well. There's lots of different options with this type of setup. I was also just thinking, as I was setting this up, that you could put this on the bottom pin, and that way it will actually be just a little bit more horizontal. You don't have to tilt this up quite as much. But now and then you can get a nice little soft light all on one unified setup.
One thing that I really like about this triple header is that it can be used both as a baby pin receiver, or if you take the knob off, you can use it as a junior pin mount. So it's flexible if you need to put some heavier lamps on it and you want to use the junior pin for added security. In my setup with 3 to 5 GVM PADS lamps, they're relatively lightweight, but when we have their power packs and that number of them, the setup does get still pretty heavy. So having that secondary option to use the junior pin mounting is really nice for compatibility with my combo stand and just a little extra security. And if I was going to be using any lamps that are heavier than those, it would feel much safer to use that junior pin. As I've already said, I really like using mine with a rolling stand, so I have something that's an easily adjustable, very flexible in terms of positioning setup, even if it is a heavier setup. But regardless of if your stand rolls or is stationary, you definitely want to make sure to weigh it down with sandbags and to lock any wheels that do roll, especially if you're going to be lifting it higher up. And definitely use safety cables for anything that could risk having it fall off, including the lamps themselves and barn doors. Additionally, don't max out the extensions of your stand. Always leave roughly 15 to 20% overlap, especially with heavier loads. As always, safety first. Overall, if you are working in tighter spaces or with limited stands, and maybe you need a lot of light with those limited stands, or you have 2 or more less powerful lights, but you need to use them all at the same time to make a more powerful source ultimately, and you're doing things like space lighting, background lighting, bouncing, or large format diffusion, then a triple header like the Impact triple header can save you space, it can improve your adjustability, and can save some labor setup time. As simple as it is, the triple header has been one of my absolutely favorite new pieces of equipment in recent memory, just because of that cost versus effectiveness. And I'll add here that the extra baby pin that you get in the center does have a nice bonus over the double header. It can basically do all of the same things, but you get that 5th mounting point, and I think that's really useful. Let me know if you have any questions about the Impact triple header. You can leave those in the comments down below. I really always love getting comments and answering questions and interacting with people on here. It's one of my favorite parts about making these videos in the first place. Now, if you want to pick up one of these Impact triple headers for yourself and your kit, I will have affiliate links down in the video description as well. Those do help support this channel at no extra cost to you. I do also have 10% off coupon codes for both DEHANCER film emulation and GVM LED lights. If you're someone who likes lighting and group equipment videos like this one, please do give the video a like to help me with the YouTube algorithm and reaching new viewers who also like these kinds of videos. Those likes really, really help. You can also subscribe for upcoming videos about tools and techniques for cinematography, lighting, and micro-budget filmmaking in general. I have so many cool videos planned, and I can't wait to get them all out there to you guys. I am also currently trying to reach 200 total supporters and members on my Patreon, which helps support me making these video lessons. I do have free tiers that start at $0, and I have paid tiers that start at $2. You can go to patreon.com/Hoshiko to learn more. I really appreciate everybody who's gone over there and joined already. Thank you so much. It really means a lot, and you help make these videos possible. I do also use Ko-fi and Buy Me a Coffee if you prefer those options for creator tips and support. If you want to connect on social media, I have a Blue Sky, Mastodon, Hey.Cafe, PixelFed, Filmmaking Tumblr, and cinematography blog on my own website. All of those links are down in the video's description. You might even see a few pictures of my gardening. This week, wear a mask in public to help reduce illness transmission and to protect yourself. Lend a helping hand where you can. Enjoy some art that inspires you, whether it's a movie, a book, a video game, or just something like browsing open access art online, whatever it is. And most of all, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. Peace.